what I would say to the men, women out there, how do I find love? How do I be a high vibe? There is no right answer. There is no solution.
It's a
It's going to be different for every person.
It's like saying we are just random acts of chaotic atoms just smashing together, and we're just coming together as everybody's different, and everybody is going to be, some sort of chaotic mess of whatever it is that they just happen to, luck of the world.
What is it that you wish more men knew about what women actually think about?
Honestly, there is no right answer. There is no course. There is no nothing.
It's for every girl.
Well, there is no course.
I'm sorry?
You're saying there is no course. I mean, isn't that what the boys do?
Well,
Meaning
no, it's
there's no
not
one
it's not
for
an
everyone,
insult
one for
to
all.
it's not an insult to Michael. It's just that I feel like the world is random. It's like asking
It
it's like
is.
asking how do you raise a kid right? If there was a formula, if there was a method, then the world would be a perfect the world would be a perfect place. We come on here and I get that's the shtick of the show and that's the thing and I get it, but there is no right answer. There is no solution.
It's a
It's going to be
conversation,
different for every
yes.
person. So, and what I would say to the men, women out there, how do I find love? How do I be a high vibe? It's going to vary person to person. If anything in the world from the beginning of time, how about just focus on trying to be a decent human and move from there?
Focus on
Move from there.
yourself.
Yeah, focus on yourself. Move from there. There is no right answer. You know, it's like women want, men want. That's bullshit. Women, we're all different.
Yeah.
What I want is going to be different from what she wants, what he wants. It's all going to be different. Just try to be a decent person and get out of the chats and just, get out into the
Focus
world.
on
That's the other thing.
yourself.
Yeah,
But
just
also
come
find
on.
yourself.
Yeah.
Find yourself. Find your own who you are, because there's so much of this external validation that we're trying to find, and every women and men do this as well. It's all about coming back and reflecting on the inner, because we want all the answers. We want to find all the answers outside of us. It's all within us.
Literally.
Hey, Rolo, as
that.
Bree was talking, your eyes are rolling pretty hard then. Why? What is it you disagree with?
Because there are certain similarities, there's commonalities that are just simply unignorable. So there are systems. And so that's in nature, that's in human beings, that's in anything else. So there are certain things that are going to remain consistent. It's like saying we are just random acts of chaotic atoms just smashing together, and we're just coming together as everybody's different, and everybody is going to be, some sort of chaotic mess of whatever it is that they just happen to, luck of the world. And what that really is to me anyways, is there's a difference between, I don't know if you're familiar with the phrases, hyper agency versus hypo agency. Now, hyper agency means I happen to the world. Hypo agency means that the world happens to me. I refuse that outlook on life. I happen to the world. I enforce my will on the world to create law in the chaos to begin with. So that what do I have to do? I have to look for similarities. I have to look for where human beings are very good, if nothing else, are very good at pattern recognition. And that's exactly what, even when there is no pattern, we will see patterns like in clouds or in the acoustic on the wall, things like that. So we will see those things for our betterment or for our not. The same thing applies to mathematics. It applies to all the sciences, applies to everything that is a system. The only thing that suddenly is not a system is men and women coming together.
No.
The only thing that can't be understood is men and women. One random star over here finds this other random star over here is bullshit. We have men and women have
Rolo,
similarities
by your
that have been going together, finding each other
That is-
for 200,000 years right now.
All right, but
So
by your
those are
logic,
the
why is
systems.
Michael not happily married, settled down with a woman with the
Oh.
children?
Oh,
Why is he-
burn!
Time out.
No,
Time
it's not
out.
a burn. It's not a burn. It's not a
Michael
burn.
is-
I said-
because Michael
you
is
know why?
very
I'm
happy.
saying
Because
this is something in the
because
same
Michael
spot, but
because
you're not.
Michael
is
Michael
very
has
happy.
Michael understands a system, and he's decided this is how I'm going to work within this system.
Yeah, Michael is very happy.
Well, no, I'm not saying you're not. I'm not like denigrating your relationships. All I'm saying is that if there's like a one-stop shop that you're saying there's data and we can get here, don't you want to be married? But you told me you want to be married with children.
So I want to be happy, right? And
Yeah.
then maybe I would put children, and then maybe a pair bonded relationship with someone else, and then possibly married. But happy comes first.
So do you want to have children before marriage then?
What I'm saying is having children is a higher priority, which is not the highest priority for me, more than getting married and then possibly not getting married at all.
So you would rather have like a child with someone that you wouldn't want to get married
No,
with?
well,
Just
maybe
not
not get married, but
needing to
I'm
get
going to
married.
take care of my child. I'm going to be there all the
And
time.
that's the thing that I feel like there's the disconnect coming between men and women is like women, we do think about marriage before wanting to have kids. I know it's not as
Not
like
everyone. I know
generational.
to get married.
So
I
we're-
know
you're
that
just-
a
you're
lot of
getting into
nowadays it's the
specifics.
opposite type
So-
of way, but there are girls that do want to
I'll-
get married before
fine,
having kids.
Get married, whatever. The difference between men and women right now is men speak the language of empiricism and women speak the language of emotionalism. And the problem is that the language of the universe right now happens to be emotionalism because women have decided that they are going to take control of the whole system right now.
And who
And
let
decides,
us?
yes, I'm not
Who
saying
let us?
I'm
Yo,
not
I'm not
saying
even
I'm
going
Who
down
not
let
saying
women take
I'm
control?
not
Because
saying it hasn't
I
been,
love
but
that
here's
you-
so let me explain something to you. Whenever
How dare you? let
whenever
us
the
do
whenever
what
the
we
la-
wanna do.
whenever the language of emotionalism encounters the language of empiricism, it always sounds like hate. That's why. That's the problem that you're having right now. And you want to know why the whole thing with the manosphere and masculinity, why we're in some sort of crisis right now, is because men are finally deciding that they see the code in the matrix right now. They understand in empirical sense. So they see the system and they understand that there's this one set of rules, one set of books, one set of understanding, and then there's this
But-
other set, and they're trying to play by this one, and it ain't working for
Because-
them. So what they do is they have to come back over to another side, and that's the problem. When we're looking at, I think we were mentioning this when we were at Roll and Smoke, when we look at the difference between the political divide between men and women, we look at that 30-point skew towards the liberal side, while men have pretty much stayed the same when it comes to conservatism, right? If the normative state of our society right now is women's experience is the one that sets the global narrative for everybody, the fact that men aren't also up in that 30 skew, that seems like there's something wrong with guys. When guys don't cry at the end of Titanic, there's something retarded and there's something wrong with those guys because they can't relate with women's experience. So what do we say? You need to go to therapy. You need to go do these things. You need to become more female. And if you become more female, then you become more human. Why is that
It's
the
a
benchmark?
balance.
Why is
It's
that
not
the
that
metric?
But
It's
I don't think
balance.
crying at the end of Titanic is feminine. Same as Marley and me. Like if you cry at that, I don't think you're feminine at all. I
Right, but
feel like you're a human
you can
person.
cry. What I'm saying is you can cry or not cry.
Right.
You can cry or
So
not
so
cry.
what I'm
And-
saying is this is why when women say men are emotionally unintelligent, when women say that men are emotionally unavailable, when men have emotional problems and it's sexy when they go to therapy or whatever else, what they're saying is, wouldn't it be great if men could be more like us? Men are
That's-
subhuman
here's the
until they
thing, though.
become more female. To be perfected as a human being is for men to be, in some cases, literally become female.